Hi y'all, welcome to my channel BK World TV. Today we will be continuing the build on Agora models DB5 from the 007 series, stages 8 through 15. So today we will be continuing the build on Agora models DB5 from the 007 series, stages 8 through 15. So as you can see, these are all the parts for stages 8 through 15. Basically we will be building on the entire engine block, like the carburetors, spark plugs, oil filters, everything, all the way up to the gearbox. Can't wait to see how the final engine will look like. But anyways, let's get started. So in stage 8, we will be assembling the cylinder head. Here we have the cam covers as well as the pipes and then the cylinders here. So let's open it up and get started. So for the first part, we will be installing the cam cover pipes, which are these pieces here, to the cam covers, which are these ones. The cam covers are marked left and right, so we'll be installing the pipes to it. So this longer cam cover pipe will go to the right side, and then we will be using one PS01 screw to secure it in place. There is a notch at the top of this cam cover pipe, so it'll just fit in one direction, just so that you know. Just like that. And then, like I said, we'll be using one PS01 screw to secure that in place. So let's go ahead and screw that in. Once we have it, just make sure it's tight. The pipes and the cam covers are plastic. So now that we have the right side done, we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the left side. So once both of these are in, once the screws are in tight, that is it for the first step. So now we will be moving on to installing the cylinder heads, which are these black ones here. So basically they are, I believe they are labeled. Yes, they are labeled left and right. Let's see, let's double check. Yes, left and right. So right one goes to the right cam cover, the left one to the left cover here. So let's go ahead and install. Let's go ahead and install them. We'll be installing it to this main chassis right here, the cylinder head here. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, there are three pins, you could say. Pins are heads. They just slide right into these three holes, so we will do that. So basically the bigger head here will just slide right into that slot. So should just slide, snap right in there, just like that. Then we will be doing the same thing the left side. So the bigger head on top, and then the three pins, you could say, will go into the hole, just like that. And then once that is in, we will be installing the cam covers onto it. These ones don't have screws, they just snap right into place. Kind of like that. Then we'll take the right side and do the same thing. So once that is done, we will then be installing the oil filter cap, which is this one. It is, if we zoom in, I don't know if you can see, but it is labeled oil. It's nice detailing, just to let you know. So we will be installing the oil filter cap to the neck, which is this piece right here. So basically there's a notch already on top that only fits in one direction, so we'll go ahead and do that, just like that. So once the oil cap is installed to the neck, we will then insert that into this middle slot here on the on the cylinder head, just like that. So it just basically fills it in. There was some little bit of paint that was kind of hard to push in, but if you need to, you can scrape it off just a tiny bit in order to get it in easy, but don't scrape it off too much, otherwise it may be loose. But if you want, you can also glue it, but this is pretty tight enough, so we don't need to glue anything just yet. So once that is done, we will be installing the cylinder head parts, which are these ones to the front, these two slots. These aren't marked left and right, so you can just put either one in either side. So I'll go ahead and do that. And now that you have both of the pieces in, that is it for stage 8. So in stage 9, we will be installing the distributor to the cylinder head that we created in stage 8. So this will be the cylinder head. So we'll be installing the distributor to here, as well as the spark plugs and the electrical cables. So let's get started. So here we have the spark plugs. So we'll be installing the spark plugs first. So let's go ahead and cut these off first. So as you can see, for the spark plugs, we'll be installing into these holes here. There's also a notch for every hole, so the spark plugs will only go in one direction. So once we put that into the hole, we will install using one PS21 screw from the back. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, we are installing our last spark plug right here. So we'll go ahead and install the last one. And there we have all the spark plugs installed. So next we will be installing the distributor into this cable tube here. So the end where the leg or the feet here is slightly inward, the end here is longer, and we'll be attaching the cable tube. So we'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. We have the distributor installed to the cable tube. So now what we are doing is we will be installing it to the cylinder head. So these two legs will go into these two holes here. So like this. Then we just need to make sure that the holes are aligned on the cable tube with the spark plugs, so that then we can later install the wires from the spark plugs to the cable tube. Then what we'll be doing now is we'll be installing this over to this hole here. So it's gonna slide right in just like that. Let's go ahead and push it in. And just like that, we installed the distributor to the cylinder head. If it's difficult to push, you may need to take off a little bit of the paint on the plastic distributor so it can go in, but it should just simply click into that hole. So next, we will be installing the spark plug wires from the one wire from the distributor to the nearest spark plug. So these are the wires. We'll be taking the longest one. There's only one that's longer than the rest of them, so we'll be using this one here to install it from the spark plug here to the hole in the distributor on the side right there. So let's go ahead and do that. And just like that, well, the first wire is in. So now we'll be taking the rest of the short wires and installing from each spark plug to the cable tube. So the first one will be the next spark plug next to it. And then we will bend the wire and then install into that hole there. Final one. So for the final piece, actually we need to install it to the end hole of the tube there. So we'll go ahead and do that. So as you can see, we've now installed all the spark plug wires to it. So we've installed the spark plugs, the cable tube to the distributor, and then all the wirings to it. So that is it for stage 9. So here in stage 10, we will be building the carburetors for the engine and attaching the main fuel line and the choke lever. So let's get started. So as you can see, we have the main fuel line here, and then we will be installing it to the choke lever, which is this piece right here. So basically it will be installed right into this whole piece here. If we zoom in a little bit, maybe you can see it better. So there's a hole right there, so we'll be installing it like this. So we'll go ahead and do that. So just like that, we've installed the choke lever to the main fuel line. You may need to slightly bend it because of the on this part of the black part of the fuel line is slightly bulged out. So just slightly bend it, but don't bend it too much and break the plastic. So once that is installed, what we'll be doing then is installing the end fuel cap, or the end fuel line end to this end to hold it in place. So basically it'll be this piece right here, and then we'll be attaching the fuel line and the choke level together. So just like that, we can install both the choke lever and the main fuel line to the end cap here. So next we'll be installing the main fuel line with the choke level that we set up earlier to the carburetor, which is this piece here. So basically there's 3 holes. So the small hole will be on the left side, the large hole in the middle, and then the medium hole for the medium pin on the right side. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So it'll be installed just like that. And then we will be using one PS01 screw to secure that in place right in the middle hole. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now once that is done, we'll go ahead and turn it back over to the front, and then we will install the fuel line connector here into this the main fuel line that we set up earlier. So just like that, as you can see, there's the fuel line connector there. Then we will be installing the fuel line, or the fuel pipe, right onto the end of that connector, just like that. And that is it for stage 10. So we attached the main fuel line with the choke level to the carburetor, and then attached the fuel line to that. So here in stage 11, we will be installing the carburetors to the cylinder, the lower part of the cylinder head, which is this piece here. Pretty straightforward. Just we will be just basically taking this piece and attaching it to this. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we'll be installing the carburetor to the lower part of the cylinder head. So the one with the 3 slots, if you can see from this angle, I will be installing the carburetor just like that there. And then we will be using 3 DS01 screws to secure it in place. Let's go ahead and do that. So the lower cylinder head is also it's a metal piece, just to let you know. And then there we have the carburetors installed to the lower cylinder head, and fairly straightforward stage. So that is it for stage 11. So in stage 12, we will be attaching the exhaust manifolds and assembling the cylinder head. So the previous 2 cylinder heads that we created, we'll be attaching those together along with the manifolds here. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we have the cylinder part of the cylinder head that we built in the previous stage. So we will now be attaching the exhaust manifolds to that. So the larger piece goes on the right side, and then the smaller piece goes on the left side. Basically, they are notched, so you can only put them in align it with holes in one direction. So let's go ahead and start with the smaller manifold. So as you can see, we'll be putting into these 3 holes, just like that. And then we will be then attaching that with 2 PS28 screws in the back side here. So let's go ahead and get the screws, and then we will secure it. Flip that around. So we will use the PS28 screws. As you can see, let's flip it this way so you guys can see better. So put 1 screw in. The manifolds are plastic, just to let you know. Now we have one side in. We will now be attaching the other manifold. So the other one goes into the other slot like that. Then we will be again using 2 PS28 screws for this as well. So let's go ahead and get the screw and secure it. As you can see, I'll put 1 screw in here. I'll get 1 more screw and secure it in place. So as you can see, now we have both the manifolds in. So I'll zoom in just a little bit so you can see better. So now we have the manifolds installed onto the cylinder head. So now what we'll be doing next is we'll be installing the water pump. So this is the water pump, and we will be installing the water pump to this slot right here. So the direction for the water pump, the valve is on this side, will point to the left side, so we'll go in like that. And then we will be using 1 DS01 screw to put that in place, or hold that in place. So let's go ahead and screw that in. And now we have the water pump installed. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to attach the, or not attach, we're going to assemble the 2 cylinder heads together. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So the distributor cap will go to the left side if the manifolds are on top like this. So basically it'll just just pop it into place there, and then we will be securing that. Gently put it on the table, and then securing that with two DS01 screws in the back. So as you can see, I'll just move it a little bit more up so you can see better. So there'll be two holes where you mount both the cylinder heads together. So we'll go ahead and do that with the DS01 screws. Now we have everything secured. So as you can see, we've connected both of the cylinder heads together. So we'll settle that down right there. And then that's pretty much it for stage 12. So we've assembled all the manifolds and the cylinder heads, both the cylinder head pieces that were created in the previous stages together. So we will move on to stage 13. So in stage 13, we will be building the alternator and the engine distribution cover. So as you can see, we have parts for that right here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, we will be building the alternator and the engine distribution cover. So we will be putting the pulley into the distribution or the alternator right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is the pulley that we will be installing to the alternator here. So there is a notch, so it'll go, you won't miss the direction. So basically just slide right in like that. And then on the back side of the alternator, we will be attaching this bracket. So the screw will go into the middle hole there, and then there's a pin on the bracket that'll go into that second hole. So we'll just line those two together, just like that. And then we will be securing that in place with one PS02 screw. So you got the screw here, so we'll go ahead and screw that in. Not too tight. The alternator and the bracket are both plastic, so just once that is secured, we'll go back to the top side, and then we will install the pulley, which is this tiny piece right here. So it'll just pop right into the hole in the center. So we'll go ahead and do that like that. So as you see, the pulley is now installed there. And then we will be setting up the other pulley pieces as well. So as you can see, this is one piece, and then we will be attaching it with this piece right here. So this is going to go right on top. There is a notch, so you won't miss the direction. So it basically just slides right in there. So now you have two pieces, two sides of the pulley attached together. Then what we'll be doing next is attaching the pulley into the alternator, or rather the engine distribution cover here. This cover is metal, so it's not plastic. So what we'll do, there is a notch embedded inside the hole there, so it'll just align with the notch on the pulley. So just like that. And then we will flip it over and then secure that in place with one PS02 screw. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, the pulley is now installed. So now we'll be installing the other pulley to the other side of the distribution cover. There is a pin on the pulley in the back. I don't know if you can see it. There's a small pin, so it will align with the hole right there. Just like that, and then we will secure that in place again with another PS02 screw. So let's go ahead and tighten the screw. So now that we have both pulleys installed, we will be fitting the holder, which is this one. It's just going to go inside the distribution cover. So basically the larger side of the holder will go to the left side here. Just like that. And then we will be securing that in place with two DS01 screws. And that is it for this stage. So in stage 13, we've created the alternator with the attach the pulley and then attach the pulley to the distribution cover. This will be used in a later stage. I believe this is the belt that will attach to the pulley. So next we will move on to stage 14. In stage 14, we will be installing the left side of the cylinder head as well as the engine distribution cover that we created in stage 13. So we'll be attaching this part of the cylinder head and the engine distribution cover, and then attaching it to the rest of the cylinder head here. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we have the left side of the cylinder head here, and what we'll be doing is we'll be attaching it to the rest of the cylinder head assembly that we built in the previous stages. So as you can see, there's 3 brackets on this side. We'll be attaching it to the rest of the cylinder head just like that, and then we'll be securing that in place with 3 DS25 screws. So let's go ahead and secure that. So we have the screw now, so we'll go ahead and secure both pieces together. So as you can see, we now have the cylinder head, the left side of the cylinder head secured to the rest of the cylinder head assembly. So what we'll be doing next is we will be taking the distribution cover right here, and then we'll be mounting that into place on the left side, or the right side right here. So we'll just slide right in. The 2 holders will slide right inside the assembly that we attached previously, and then we'll secure that in place with 1 DS25 screw. And now that the distribution cover is in place, what we'll be doing is we'll be taking the alternator right here, and then once we move this over, so as you can see, we'll be securing the alternator right into this bracket, or this hole over here. The bracket will go right in. So one side has a pin, the other side will be secured in with a screw. So we'll be using 1 DS08 screw to secure that alternator into the distribution cover. So now that the alternator is secure, we'll be installing the belt that we got in the previous stage, and then we'll be wrapping that around all 3 of the pulleys. So let's go ahead and do that. Then as you can see, we installed the belt now with the lower part of the cylinder head. So stage 14 is now completed, and we will move on to the next stage. In this last stage, stage 15, we will be building and attaching the gearbox. So we'll be assembling the gearbox, as you can see, these parts here, and then attaching that to the cylinder head that we built in the previous stages. So let's go ahead and get started. So first step is to take the right side of the gearbox and then attach it to this piece right here. So we'll be sliding in just like this. The gearbox, this gearbox piece is metal on both sides, but this part is the top here is plastic. But we'll be securing that in place with 2 PS28 screws. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, I'll zoom in just a little bit. So now we have the gearbox top secured in place. And then we'll be taking the left side of the gear box. Again, this is also a metal piece. And then we'll be securing that in place onto the right side. And just line it up onto the holes, just like that. And then we will be using 2 DS01 screws and then putting into the 2 holes, screw holes there to secure both sides together. Then next we will be securing the gearbox front here. This piece is also metal, and then we'll be attaching it to this piece here. So basically this side is the top of the gearbox. And I'll just attach here, and then we'll be using 2 DS01 screws again to hold that in place. So let's go ahead and get the screws and then secure it. Then there we have the gearbox now assembled. So now we'll be attaching the gearbox to the cylinder head assembly that we assembled all together in the previous stages. So basically, this gearbox will go right in to these 2 slots right there. Just like that. And then we will then secure that in place with 1 DS25 screw. And that is it for stage 15. So we've assembled the gearbox right there and then attach it to the cylinder head assembly. So as you can see in pack 2, stages 8 through 15, we have assembled pretty much most of the cylinder head, as well as installed the spark plugs, the gearbox, the manifolds, as well as the alternator. So overall, very impressive looking so far. Can't wait to see what we're going to do in the next pack. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.